Yo, what's good YouTube? It's your boy. I'm back at it again with another video. This one we're going to be doing like a dark West Coast kind of beat. It's like a Shoreline Mafia, Drakeo the Ruler kind of vibe. So you already know how we do it. If you like the video, drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment, and let's get into it. I'm going to play a little bit of the beat and then we'll break down all the sounds and give you some tips on it. Cool, so you get the idea. It's like the, dark, grimy kind of vibe. So this beat's 102 BPM. I just use the F sharp minor key. If you don't know how to do that, I just use like the scale highlighting. You go up here, you click helpers, scale highlighting, make sure it's on minor natural, and then I did F sharp. And for this beat, I really just stuck, to the scale. So I just used the highlighted notes on here. Started with the melody. I used this sound from Omnisphere. So scissors pan. I use these ones a lot in Omnisphere. Ethnic World. Like all these sounds, you got to kind of go through some of them. Some of them aren't the best, but there's some real good like bell sounds and different stuff in that one. So I started with this melody. This was the first sound. And then after that, I added this little bell over it. It's pretty much just following like the same notes, but it's playing it in like a different pattern. So it sort of gives it like a bounce, and they kind of fit together really well. So this one is the same feel too, and Purity. I use this bell sound a lot too. And then I actually added in this bass line. This was the next sound. Purity too. Purity's got like the best synth basses. If you know, you know. I use this one, the AMU-G bass. It's a really popular one in Purity. What you want to do with this one, at least what I like to do though, it's the first sound here. I go to the edit thing and I turn off the delay. Normally the delay is like up here, this little knob. Just turn that down. I don't like the delay on the bass, just personally. At least on this one, I don't like how it sounds. And then with this sound, you just want to mess with like the velocity. If you turn the velocity down lower, it gives it like a totally different sound. Check it out. Check out if I turn it up. So kind of play with that. And it'll just totally change the sound of it. So we had that. I added in these chords next just to give it like another kind of layer, like something I could add in, in the hook and stuff. And I don't know what this chord is called right here, but I use this one a lot. You just do the first 3 notes in the scale and then skip one, and it just sounds like dark. It's got like a real dark sound to it. And with these types of beats, I usually don't go too crazy with the chords. Like I won't have like a bunch of extra notes playing on the chords and stuff. I'll just keep them kind of long. I usually have like 1 or 2 chords. Then I added this little thing at the end just to sauce it up. And this from Easy Keys. This is like one of my favorite piano, like Rhodes plugins. It's underrated. And then we added in the classic skinny glider sound from Omnisphere. If you guys don't know, this is like the classic Shoreline Mafia sound. It's pretty overused, but I just did it. And you can see right here too, I added a automation clip for the lead. And so this is just turning down the volume a little bit. So it's linked to this knob right here. And so when it plays, you'll see it'll turn it down a little bit. And I just did that so like this long note where it holds it, it's not like just playing like right in your ears the whole time. That's a good little tip. I do this a lot on like the high pitched lead sounds and stuff. If you have like a note that's holding on really long like that, sometimes it could sound like real harsh on your ears when you play it like really loud. So just automating the volume like this, like it'll help sauce it up. So see how it turns it down a little bit. Well, yeah, let's get into the drums. So with these types of beats, you really want to keep the drums pretty simple and kind of steady. And that's what really gives it like the bounce. Like you can see with the hi-hat, it's just playing the whole time. And it's just 2 steps. I changed up the velocities and stuff a little bit, but that's literally playing like the whole time. There's a few little parts where I kind of cut it just so it's not like so steady, but that pretty much just plays the whole time with the clap too. And then I added in these hi-hats. Adding the open hat on like the downbeat like this, it sounds saucy. And so the perks in a beat like this, it's really just to kind of like keep it interesting, you know, so it's not just this straight hi-hat and clap the entire time. It kind of, you know, there's a little extra sounds that you kind of hear in the background and stuff. But we got the open hi-hats, added this little triangle perk, a rim shot, and then another triangle at the end. We got the stomp too, the classic stomp sound. So in a lot of these beats, the thing that really gives it like the bounce and the energy is adding in the kick, and then also switching between like the kick and the 808. So if you listen to a lot of like Drakeo the Ruler or Shoreline Mafia kind of songs, like these types of songs, they'll do that a lot. Like they'll add in the kick, and that really adds a lot of energy, and then they kind of switch between the 808 and the and like the synth bass in different parts of the song. I also added in these like some little like reverse cymbals and stuff. It's pretty simple. I didn't want to go too crazy with like the effects and stuff in this one. Kind of want to just keep the beat going, like keep the vibe of it rolling. But watch like when the kick comes in on here. That's what really kind of like bumps it up. This little breakdown here, we took out the kick, leave the synth bass in, and then it's going to switch to the 808 right here. And so for the 808, I made it follow the kick. I didn't want to have the kick playing like the whole time, like following this bass line. So it only hits on certain notes. And then when it switches to the 808 follows the pattern of the kick more. But yeah, as you can see, the thing that really makes the transition is like bringing in that 808. Like if you want like the hook to really hit like that, that's when you want to bring in like the kick and the 808 and stuff. But yeah, as far as the layout, I kept it pretty simple, like I do in most of my beats. You know, we got like the intro. This part would be the hook. This is gonna be like your verse. Whoops, hook right here. You know, and then it just repeats. For the verse, I just took out the synth bass in the beginning here, just so that it kind of drops out. brought back in the, you know, the normal bass. Ringing the bell right here. Then I switched it back to the 808 part for the last part of the verse, just so that it kind of like changes up during the verse, you know. And so I like to add some kind of change ups in the verse, just to give the artist kind of like more options. Not all artists are like aware of it, but an artist that knows what they're doing will know like they can take this part and cut it up and like loop it if they like this part of the verse or whatever, or they could cut up this part and loop that, you know what I'm saying? So that they kind of got like some different options with the beat or whatever. Not everybody does that, but some artists do like to. And so I like to kind of like have a few different sections in the beat, you know, just in case. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the sounds in the beat. Like I said, like you really don't want to overdo it with like the drums in these beats. I mean, you can go crazy with like the rolls and stuff like that, but I notice like, at least for me personally, the ones that kind of do the best on like my site and stuff that are this style, I usually keep the drums like real simple, and they'll just kind of rock like the whole time through the beat, and I'll just switch up like some of the sounds and stuff that are in there. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of like the beat or whatever. The mixing, as always, I kept it pretty simple. It's really all in the levels, guys. It's all in the volumes. So, you know, as you can see, like I don't got anything that's like super overly loud. You know, a lot of this stuff I don't even put anything on the mixer channels. Like if you got like a good kick, good drum sounds, you don't need to do too much. Like I'll add a little EQ. I had to put a little reverb on the clap. You know, make sure your kick and your 808 at least are in mono. And then I also like to offset the bass sounds a little bit. So I'll go in here. I actually didn't do it with this one, but I think I did it with the synth bass. Just so that the 808 and the kick don't hit at like the exact same time. It gives it a little bit more room. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like the thing I probably did the most mixing on was that lead sound. I added a little reverb and then took out some of the frequencies, just because it's so like those high pitched like lead sounds, they're so harsh sometimes. So you want to really make sure that that shit's not like hurting people listening to its ears. You know what I mean? Because it can. But yeah, other than that, you know, it's mostly just like some EQ. You want to make sure you get like the panning straight and everything. But yeah, like with mixing, don't overcomplicate it, don't overthink it. Like just make sure that it sounds good. Make sure you're starting with some good quality sounds, and then it's really just all about like the volumes and the EQ. Another thing I've been doing lately is using Soft Clipper on the master channel. And so with this, I basically just use this to like turn up the beat. I'll turn up the post gain or whatever, and then mess with the threshold. And I'll play it like before. So I'll use the Soft Clipper to turn it up almost all the way to like 0. And then put the limiter on. And it just makes it slap like even harder. Alright, I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I hope that you guys learned a little bit from this, and maybe you could use some of these tricks on your own beats. If you liked the video, as always, drop a like, drop a comment, drop a sub, and let me know what kind of video you want to see next. And until the next one, peace.